Hey y'all, once again welcome back to the layout. Today we're going to be taking a look at some unique aspects of the railroad and interesting operations which can be fun to model but also add a lot of realism to your layout. Specifically, that's going to be some maintenance of way and signal replacements which we're doing here on the layout. We're here at the east end of Asheville Yard, and as you can see, the old signals look good, but the aspects aren't quite right for the track arrangement, and they're also really dim. So we're going to replace them, and while doing so, I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with it and teach you about maintenance of way work and how operations work around these track crews and projects here on the railroad. Here, the dispatcher's line P31, a local freight out of Canton, into the yard at Asheville. This is the last train to use these signals before they're cut off for good and replaced. Once the train is through, the project can begin. Usually, there's a maintenance of way person who's in charge of the project, often referred to as the road foreman. He's in charge of making sure that everything on the project is safe and staying on schedule. He's also going to coordinate with the dispatcher and train crews to make sure that no train movements are going through his project without permission. So here, the dispatcher is given complete control of all tracks of Biltmore to the maintenance of way crew to keep them safe and keep trains out of the way. For the project here in the layout, I decided to go ahead and model an actual signal replacement. So we're going to replace the signal on the S line, that's the one in the background, with a new signal in its exact location. So we're going to remove that one. However, for the signal here in the foreground on the two main lines, we're going to go and turn the old signal sideways just like you might see in real life, and actually put a new signal bridge just behind him. It's something that often you can see, and we're going to try to model it here in real life. Here's the new signal. This is an Atlas signal bridge with custom Details West signals. I went ahead and modeled them and laid them out exactly prototypically for the track arrangement that you find here at the control point at Biltmore. So I'm going to go ahead and test fit them, and one thing to make sure you're doing whenever you're test fitting signals like this and moving them around is to make sure that track power is off, because you don't want to accidentally hit the live track power to the wires of the signal and fry an LED. Once the signals are in place, the crew's going to hook them back up and test them to make sure they work. For operations wise, it's also important to work around trains moving through the area. This is something that is done a lot of time in real life and adds a lot of realism to your operations on the layout. This is a westbound freight coming down the mountain towards Asheville and towards the signal project. This is train 165, and he's going to communicate with the road foreman to get permission through the work zone and into Asheville Yard. Here at the yard limits, just down the line from the construction project, the train has received permission from the dispatcher into the yard and through the control point. It's also received permission from the road foreman through the construction project. It had an approach diverging signal, which is a yellow over a green signal, and that tells the engineer to proceed to the next signal, expecting to take the diverging route, hence the name approach diverging. And diverging is simply just a catch-all name for switching tracks or going through a switch to a different one. So these signals really tell an engineer how to operate his train and to adjust the speed. Even with permission from both the dispatcher and the road foreman through the control point and through the work zone, the engineer still has to proceed at a restricted or slow speed to ensure safety. In real life, they would sound the bell and sound 2 short blasts every few seconds just to make everybody aware of the passing train. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short video on operations and replacing a few signals here at the east end of Asheville. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and if not, I'll see you next time.